Are you fascinated by the prospect of indoor gardening? Well then, what's stopping you from taking the next step? Maybe you are drowned by the pool of repetitive ideas that discourage you from being truly enthusiastic about indoor gardening. Gladly enough, the game changes right here. This list covers a myriad of creative gardening ideas that can forfeit any self-defeating indoor gardening thoughts which you may have until now. So, let's forget the hustle and bustle of daily life for a brief while so that your worthwhile desire for indoor gardening doesn't go unpursued. This is 20 Creative Indoor Garden Ideas by your loyal list maker, simphome.com. Number 20. DIY Vertical Hanging Garden. If space is a premium commodity for you, this hanging garden should be in your bucket list. As you can tell from the image above, this vertical indoor garden can house a bunch of plants without killing any usable space in a property. Oh yes, it never fails to add an extra spark to any home decor you can think about. To create the shelf for the plants, you need to measure and cut the wood for the pots to sink into the wood. Then, drill holes on the corners to slide the rope through the holes. Finally, you need to add your favorite plants to the garden. Last but not the least, you merely have to sit back and watch your indoor garden flourish. Number 19. Upcycled Light Bulb Planters. This upcycled light bulb planter looks like a work of art. Frankly speaking, it's hard not to fall in love with something as simple and creative as this indoor gardening idea. If you want to go green in your home, give this beauty a shot on any given day of the week. The fruits of labor would be highly rewarding. To begin with, get a couple of bulbs from a local store. You need a non-functional bulb, so get rid of the black glass on the top. Break the inner glass seal and remove the fill tube as well. Now, the bulb is ready for plantation. Drill holes on the silver area of the bulb with gentle pressure to attach the strings. Once done, place your favorite plants in the bulbs and hang them wherever you like. Number 18. Mini Terrarium Mason Jars DIY. The Mason Jars terrarium fever is catching up like nobody's business. They add a fresh aroma to any home decor, and the best part is they are amazingly fun and ridiculously easy to create with minimal supplies. First, prep the jar by washing and drying it. Then, add a layer of rocks and moss for drainage. Add a few inches of soil as well. Next, add a final layer of moss. Finally, dig a small hole in the soil to add your plant. As you can tell by now, the jar should be plantation ready in, estimated, less than 30 minutes without any pro-level skills. Number 17. DIY Garden Wall. This garden wall can unintentionally put professional makeover projects to shame. Believe it or not, it will literally change the dynamics of a space. Frankly speaking, any blank wall in your room that needs beautification should fit the bill for this indoor gardening project. For this DIY project, create square planter boxes and attach them to the plywood using screws. Drill holes at the bottom area of the individual boxes for water drainage. Fill the boxes with sand and stones. Finally, add plants in them. You won't believe how many plants you can grow in this DIY garden wall. Number 16. Air plants plus string art equals living wall art. If you would like to try something new this weekend, go for air plants indoor gardening. For those who don't know, air plants can survive for long periods of drought, and with some degree of creativity, you can make them look amazingly cool. To show off this living wall art, you will have to draw a design on a board and mark areas where the nails will grow. The design could be a plus sign, triangle, or something else. Then, hammer the nails and tie strings from one nail to another in a pattern. Number 15. DIY Test Tube Vase Chandelier. There is something distinctively gratifying about indoor flowering. The sheer look of them provides intellectual joy and satisfaction. Also, leaves us breathless sometimes. Not to forget the fact that flowers are easier to grow indoors compared to other plantations. They are a perfect commodity for small spaces too. For this ingenious DIY indoor gardening idea, you will need 6 hanging test tube vases, 3 meters of leather cord, and a metal circle frame. To suspend the tubes in the air, you need to cut 2 pieces of string, approximately 20 inches, and tie them into the metal frame on each side to create a cross-style hanger. Next, you need to cut a piece of string, approximately 8 inches long, and tie one end into the test tube vase and the other end to the metal frame. This needs to be done for all the 6 vases. Once done, they are ready to be hanged. Add water and place flowers in them. Finally, pat your back for completing this incredible floral project. Number 14. DIY Fishbowl Terrarium. Why not reuse an old aquarium and turn it into a praiseworthy miniature garden? It's a clever DIY idea to show your love for mini plants. What's so cute about this indoor garden is the simplicity to put this thing together. It all starts with filling the bottom of the vessel with small rocks. Next, add a layer of charcoal to avoid things from getting smelly. Then, you need to add a layer of sand to it and put the plants into it. That's it. Keep at your desk for a wonderful company. Number 13. ANTHRO-inspired DIY copper shelves. 3 layers of shelves and you have a spectacular piece to add to your indoor garden plan. For this little greenery and stylish look, you don't need to add a lot of supplies either. Cut the timber to create actual floating shelves, wrap them in copper sheets, drill them into the wall, and plant the trees. The final product will look chic and stylish. Enjoy all the bragging rights for this effortless project. And no one will know that you didn't throw an arm and a leg to create this beauty. Number 12. Simple Cacti Garden DIY. Cacti make a wonderful household plant. They are easy to grow, plus they don't demand a lot of water. They are sun lovers and slow growers. As long as they can get a lot of direct light, they will blossom your space like nothing else out there. To bring this idea to your home, first, take a wide vase and add some rocks at the bottom to help with water drainage. Add a few layers of soil, about an inch from the top, and add enough cacti plants in the soil. For those who don't know, cacti plants are available in different colors and variety, so make your choice. Finally, cover the top with a thin layer of some rocks, and done. By no means, you won't feel like not bragging about this adorable creation. Number 11. Bright and modern Zen Garden DIY. For a well-curated modern display of indoor gardening, this creative piece should win an Excellence Award. It's a perfect display for small spaces. Moreover, it can be created with little means without any hiccups. All you need is a glass dish, a piece of cloth, a cactus plant, and colored sand to nail this project like a pro. Fill the cloth with sand to plant the roots into it, and insert the plant into the colored sand. Keep in mind that you have to insert the cloth bag deep inside the sand to make it literally invisible. Next, make sure to tie the mouth of the cloth at the base of the plant. For the final touch, make a good sketch on the sand. You will be amazed by how nice and charming the whole thing will turn out. Number 10. DIY Succulent Planter. Jump on the indoor gardening bandwagon in style by creating the succulent planter at the comforts of your home. The end result looks amazing, and it comes with a video tutorial that you can play unlimited time. Here we go. First, lay popsicle sticks in the shape of a hexagon. Glue them to complete the hexagon. Continue layering it until it's deep enough to place your plants into. Add several layers at the bottom to completely block one side of the hexagon to accommodate sand and the plant. That's it! Your cutest indoor gardening decor is ready to be admired. Number 9. DIY Brass Himmeli Hanging Planter. If you are looking to build a flashy wall hanger that doesn't break your budget, the Brass Himmeli Hanging Planter should be on your immediate wish list. It's beautiful, inexpensive, and it adds an element of fine furniture to any home decor out there. A brass wire, brass tubing, planter, and pipe cutter would be needed to kickstart this project. To begin with, cut the brass tubing into small pieces to form a base where the planter will rest. Join them at the tip to make a triangle shape. Feel free to play with proportions and connect the pieces together to create a cage. Use the brass wire to hang the planter at the desired height. Lastly, house a small plant in the bowl, install the Himmeli hanger, and hang at a secure spot. FYI, make sure to keep it out of children's reach. Number 8. Bentwood Bud Vase DIY. Before you are itching to lay your hands on this awesome DIY creation, then you would be happy knowing that anyone can create this spectacular item in the middle of a regular day without frying their brains. As you can tell from the image above, it features a unique body and a touch of a modern look to it. To give life to this beautiful creation, start by polishing the copper air chamber with vinegar and salt. Then, cut a piece of plywood and simmer the plywood for a few minutes and allow it to dry before wrapping it around the chamber. Secure it with rubber bands, and after that, lay the air chamber at the center of the candle plate and wrap it with wires. Add your favorite stem, fill some water, and fix it on the wall. Your job is done. You will feel like you kicked out the wonderful artist in you. Number 7. Macrame Plant Hanger DIY. To add more greenery to your life and living space, you can afford to go nuts over this offbeat macrame plant hanger project. You will enjoy the challenge involved, and you will fall in love with the final outcome, even if you have zero DIY skills to bring to the table. Yes, this project won't prove to be a massive effort fest, but some labor and creativity are required to do the tricks. Basically, you will have to create basic macrame knots to hold the plant pot. You will need a macrame cord, metal ring, and scissors to execute this project. Once the knots are ready, you need to place the planter and hang it up at the desired spot. You can hang this little fellow in any corner of your room, but first, make sure that the ceiling can handle the weight of the plant. Number 6. Vertical Garden Ideas by momax.de. This DIY project depicts a green wall at its best. For a lush green garden on the wall, you won't find a better alternative. In fact, it won't be an understatement to claim that this vertical wall garden makes an unmatched statement on its own. Not to forget the fact that the concept of green wall has been picking up like wildfire these days. First, select the space for your personalized green wall. Then, build a frame with the necessary raw material, shelf and grid. You will have to cut the grid in the right size to fit it into the shelf. Using a hammer and a few nails, attach the grid into the shelf. Then, attach the frame to the wall and add a layer of moss and soil. Finally, sit back and witness the plants live and grow in your living room. Number 5. DIY Wood and Leather Trellis Plant Wall. This DIY project can make an ordinary wall look ultra awesome in a jiffy. First, start by cutting long boards to finish the frame, as seen on the image above. Secure the frame on the wall with nails. Acquire some planters on clearance sales and spray paint them. Create a snug fit leather planter holder to hold the planters on the frame, and once the leather straps are ready, attach them on the frame and fill them with your favorite plants. That's it! The plant lover in you will absolutely thank you for your effort. Number 4. Mid-Century Planters DIY. If you love hoarding plants, this is another indoor gardening project that should catch your interest. It's a project of effort and creativity that can garner a lot of eyeballs. As you can tell from the image above, the leg portion of this DIY project really stands out, although it can be created with no legs at all. First, plant wooden legs on a simple wooden bottom. Attach legs to the wooden surface using 3 angled plates. Once the base is ready, you can glue the planter on the wooden surface. Add cactus soil and white sand on top of the soil. Finally, plant the cactus and enjoy your work. Number 3. DIY Hairpin Leg Entryway Table. Here, you will create a customized table that's both slim and modern, and of course, it won't break your bank either. Not to undermine the fact that it would prove to be a fitting addition to any entry. First, cut 3 wood boards into equal length, width, and height you need the final table to be. Lay them side by side and glue them together. Use 3 smaller boards and screw them on the board at equal distances once the glue dries off. Next, attach the hairpin legs at the corners of the board, and finally, add a new plant pot at the top and admire your new self-made entryway table. Number 2. DIY Stripe-Stamped Herb Pots. This is a cute DIY project that even a 9-year-old can handle. Moreover, the final product can look good on any countertop. Here are step-by-steps to create this functional piece of art. Get some white pots and tape them together with letter stamps and allow them to dry. That's it. You are done. Didn't you find it unexpectedly easy? Before we get to number 1, I suggest you to press the subscribe button if my channel is new to you, and the bell icon beside it. This way, you'll get a new notification every time I publish a new video. Number 1. Indoor plantations from kitchen residues. Next time you invade your kitchen, keep in mind that some of your kitchen leftovers can come really handy in any indoor plantation plan. Think twice before you start dumping your unused veggies. For this DIY, you can use leftover lettuce, green onions, celery, etc. For this last project, cut lettuce 2 inches from the bottom and transfer it to a glass bottle filled with a tad bit of water. Wait for a week before you transfer it to the soil. The same can be done with green onions or celery. You can also take mint and basil leaves. Cut them 3 inches from the top and transfer them into a glass filled with a tad bit of water. After the roots grew about 2 inches, transfer them to the soil. Finally, you can use any wooden frame that can hold sand to transfer these plantations to the soil. Done! That's it, my fellow home decor lovers. I hope you enjoyed my countdown through this list. Before you leave, like this video or share it with anyone close to you in your social media account. Do liven up the comment box with your reaction or suggestions. And lastly, until next time, thanks for watching.